Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. A couple of things I want to go over today. What's generally happening this week with Star Citizen, because we're waiting on a patch and lots of other stuff's happening. But also, we've just had the Drake Ironclad questions and answers post that a lot of people were keenly awaiting come out, and there's some incredibly important information in it. And yes, the roof opens on both versions of the ship, but we'll talk about exactly what that means and everything in a minute. So, this week in Star Citizen. Later Tuesday, there's a lore post that will be offering a short story entitled Divestment about a human who's indentured to a Banu Soli and waiting their fate. Wednesday, we'll see the start of Alien Week 2954, a little bit earlier than I expected, with festivities both in and out of the verse. Expect an alien ship sale, screenshot competition, some form of translation activity, maybe even a new ship or vehicle, straight to flyable or concept. People are thinking that Fat Fury might turn up. They're also going to be publishing a new fortnightly roadmap update, so with this, we could get some more additions to exactly what's coming in 3.2, 3.2 or 4.0. It might be quite a small little update this time though. No Inside Star Citizen this week. It returns next week, Thursday the 20th of June. We don't know what they're showing yet on Inside Star Citizen, but it's supposed to be Alpha 4.0 season, so hopefully we're going to start to see stuff like that. On Friday, we have a Star Citizen Live, which is sort of a second part of Making Ship Up, and we'll have CIG looking more at concept of ships and vehicles and their development, and some feedback to what they did last time. They sort of made a stunt bike with dog and man with cape, and it was actually relatively cool for something they did in an hour, so it might be an evolution of that concept into sort of like the next phase or something else, or going in a different direction. But it will be a light amount of development information, but more sort of like how the sausage is made in a fruit fly environment, sort of very quick cycle. Some other little bits and bobs in regards to Star Citizen Alpha 3.23.1a and the Xenothreat event. CIG said that they have some internal issues they're trying to solve for the PTU build. Xenothreat has hit a snag that has caused it to only run once and not cycle, so they want it to keep on being able to run, not just once on each server, and they're looking into that as well as other stability issues that are affecting the live deployment. We're expecting that patch to go live ASAP, and basically as soon as CIG have solved that. And with Alpha 3.23.2, which is the cargo patch, that should be going to Evocati ASAP as well. Something else we did find out as well, the hazmat suits that CIG released as sort of like the RSI voluntary subscriber backer flare, they're just clothing rather than actual flight suits for people that wanted to know. I was like a little annoyed at that to start with, but actually I think that having clothing options that allow you to run around and do stuff without wearing flight suits might be important in the future. We need a bit of reason not to wear flight suits, and maybe flight suits might not be able to protect you against lots of different hazardous materials. Maybe you need something more specialized, that sort of stuff. We'll have to wait and see how that all pans out. Now, the big thing for me is talking about the Drake Ironclad Q&A, because lots of important data was here. The Drake Ironclad is a concept ship. It is a large armored freighter, at least the standard Ironclad is, and it has an openable top that allows you to basically put cargo into this large armored cargo hold very easily. And there's an assault version which focuses more on combat and ground vehicle delivery over cargo. But we'll talk about that as we go through the questions and answers. What ships are the main competitors of the Ironclad and Ironclad Assault? For example, how does it compare with the Crusader Hercules, as it seems better in every aspect? The Anvil Liberator and the Crusader Hercules are the Ironclad's closest competitors. The Liberator is a dedicated vehicle transporter, so naturally it excels at that, though its cargo remains relatively exposed. The C2 and M2 Hercules are the closest on-paper competitors, providing enclosed cargo capacity and the option for multiple turrets. However, the Ironclad Assault beats the latter, while the Ironclad Freighter beats the former in cargo capacity. I'm going to differentiate the two variants by calling it the Ironclad Freighter and the Ironclad Assault. The Freighter is going to be the standard version because that's what it excels in, freight. Can the Ironclad Freighter be used as a mini carrier? And what is the biggest ship that could be fitting through that retractable roof? Yes, it can be used as a mini carrier. However, the cargo bay is designed for cargo metrics, so it doesn't conform to standardized hangar dimensions, with the current maximum dimensions being 40 by 21 by 7.5 meters. Bear in mind, the roof does not retract over the full volume, limiting the maximum length. Of course, this may change during production, so we don't 100% know what ship can fit in there based on how big that roof aperture is when fully open. Will the Ironclad Assault have a retracting roof like the freighter version? Yes, the retracting roof is shared between both versions. However, the tractor beam setup is removed on the Assault version, so utility is significantly compromised in that Assault version. Will either version have strong VTOL thrusters to assist in atmospheric flight? Both versions have identical thruster layouts, including integrated VTOL thrusters underneath, so yes, it will be able to land and take off pretty well. Obviously, the Assault's version is focusing on trying to deploy ground vehicles. Is there an armory in the Assault? An armory isn't shown in the Assault cutaway, but during production we'll be looking for the best place for one, likely in the front central area, where the secure storage is on the base Ironclad Freighter. The Ironclad Assault has a repair bay as an installed feature. Is this bay going to be able to repair more than just vehicles? For example, could it repair ship components as well? Yes, repair facilities are not restricted by type, but more by volume and resources. We'll discuss repair and crafting in more detail in the future, as it's a topic more expansive than this Q&A. Now that is exciting. So repair facilities on ships, they are going to be volume based. You'll be able to repair ship components there. You'll be able to repair pretty much anything you can fit in there. We also know they are part fabricator as well, these repair facilities for the most part, so you can actually fabricate new components. I believe that's a repair facility thing rather than a separate fabricator thing as well, but there are going to be separate fabricators for making things, but this is kind of both. What I'm saying is repair facilities, I believe, have fabricators installed in them, although we're not sure on the size and scale of that sort of stuff. Again, it's going to be based on the size of the repair facility, and yeah, all this stuff might change, and that's just my assumption for some of it. How will the self-destruction feature work with the Ironclads? Can I initiate self-destruct in the command module and detach it to then fly away, or will the command module also be in self-destruct mode? There are two independent self-destructs, one in the command module and one in the main hull. Setting it off in the command module will self-destruct both, if attached, while the main hull of the base ship can be triggered from the control room. I think that's quite interesting. I'm hoping that I can, if I wanted to, set the self-destruct in the command module, detach the command module, and then stop the self-destruct in just the command module. Is the command module shared between the Ironclad and the Caterpillar? The command module is compatible between the Ironclad and the Caterpillar. However, the Ironclad's module is a slight redesign of the original Caterpillar one, but retains a lot of the features. If you detach the command module, does the Ironclad become a flying brick? Or can you still steer it? The Ironclad is exclusively flown from the command module. With it detached, the main hull can no longer fly independently. However, it retains power, cooling, and other functionality like tractor beam control and self-defense, so it is basically a floating cargo room. How will insurance handle the detaching of the command module and the loss of the main ship? We're working on how insurance will work with the Ironclad. We'll talk more on this subject closer to the ship's flyable release. Will the command module have a quantum drive? Yes, there's a quantum drive aboard the command module to facilitate independent quantum travel. People that don't know, the command module can fully detach from the Ironclad and technically can reattach, although they're not supposed to be sort of quickly chopped and changed. It is supposed to be for an emergency, like I need to get out of here and drop my cargo, get out. Is the ship's heavy armor actually heavy? How is this represented in game, as armor isn't a thing yet in the mechanics? Relative to other ships of its size class, it is heavily armored, and that implementation will be appropriate to mechanics in place at the time of its launch. Is the interior turret a tractor beam or defense turret? The interior turret at the rear of the cargo bay is a defense turret, so it is supposed to be used for shooting people that try and board or things that land in its cargo bay, that sort of stuff. Does the Assault have tractor beams? They're listed for the freighter, but not for the Assault. No, the Assault trades all of its tractor beams for more firepower. If you wish to tractor items around or on board the Assault, you should bring either FPS tractor items or a tractor-capable ship. How will the gravity in the cargo bay be handled with this Fatter-pillar? That's what people call the Drake Ironclad. Will it have an air shield over the top like the Caterpillar has at the front? For example, if someone is EVAing near the top of the ship to help load cargo, it seems like a great way to fall inside the ship and get a tier 2 broken leg injury. Sounds like a Drake design feature. There's no air shield at the top of the cargo bay. Once opened, it vents to the void of space, and care must be taken in the scenarios listed. So yeah, that's really eye-opening and really cool for people that wanted that Drake Ironclad, be it the freighter or the assault version. It's got an internal defense turret. We're going to start to see more of these on other ships in the future for defensive purposes. The top opens up on both of them, but obviously the assault version loses the cargo tractor beams, but if you don't mind loading it by hand or with another ship or vehicle or whatever, you can still do a similar load of stuff. Also, you can use either versions as pocket carriers for other ships on board that can then be launched out of it. However, we don't 100% know the aperture size of that openable roof yet until it's later in production. But I think that Ironclad is going to be one of the sort of most wanted pocket carrier ships now, because it's so fantastic for having those repair and manufacture fabricator facilities, as well as the ability to sort of deploy those ground vehicles or lots of ships potentially from its armoured hold. And you can make some money from cargo running or deploying whatever else you want. It's Drake as well, and I love it. I love it as an alternative to the Herculeses and the Liberator, and I just think it looks absolutely fantastic. But I'm really interested to know what you think. Do you like the Drake Ironclad freighter or assault or both? Do you think it's going to be this fantastic ship? Did you buy one? Are you going to be buying one in game? When do you think it's actually going to be released rather than just in concept? Something we might see by the end of next year or middle of next year or something, or much later. Are you excited for Alpha 3.23.1 and A and Xeno Threat and all that sort of jazz? Are you looking forward to that cargo patch with 3.03.2? When do you think that's going to actually come out? Do you think that's going to be by the end of June, or do you think no, much more likely in July? Whatever your thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Check out the links to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer down below. Get a big discount on NordVPN. It gives you greater accessibility, security, and privacy on your interwebs. I use it. I love it. Makes me feel a lot better and protected. Also, you've got Tobii Eye Tracker for some precision eye tracking and head tracking, all that is natively supported in Star Citizen. Links below to all of that. It helps support the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for June we are giving away a Freelancer Miss, which is a fantastic little multi-crew missile boat. We're also bundling this with a Pulse, the little tiny bike with the big laser on it. You'll get lifetime insurance on both of those and a Star Citizen game package. So all you need to play Star Citizen, all you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during June. Good luck to you. Also, if you want to further support the channel, please consider clicking the join button under my videos. It really does help. There's also Patreon on loads of affiliate links and stuff like that down below in the video description and in the comments, so check those out, and that helps the channel out too. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great June. Thank you for watching to the end, and don't forget to click all the things down below, or at least the things you want to click on.